Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 76 of Scion of the Dark House, a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition Gothic horror podcast. Because it's Gothic horror, there may be some things that come up to a line for some people, such as violence, blood, gore, child endangerment, talk about abuse and trauma, body horror, and other such things. If anything comes up to a line for you, please take a break. Your support means a lot to us, but so does your mental health. So where we last left off, the group had been escorted to the Waltz of Shadows. They made a stop off at Bald Mountain, where they met a variety of interesting characters before finally flying to the waltz itself. They met with the Queen of Air and Darkness, who told them that she wanted Lark to be the champion in the bout that was going to happen at some point during the ball, as well as she wanted to check in on how things were going at the house. Afterwards, they went and they mingled amongst the guests at the ball, meeting a variety of very interesting characters, one of whom was Stolas, the owl demon, who has great knowledge of all herbs and stars. Because of this, he recognized Arthur, or at least recognized his mother in Arthur, and suggested that they had met at one point in time, but he had denied his mother druidic magics of a sort, and that was the only time they had met. Stolas then introduced the group of them to Zugdmoy and Jubilex, the Lord of Rot and Slime, respectively, who promised that they would have the parties back if they needed it. And that in the fight with Therisdun, any ally is an ally. After which, they found their way to the dance floor and had, some more lovely than others, a lovely waltz with various interesting characters. And they had just been informed that in 2 hours, the bout was going to begin, where they would need to fight and be the champion of the Queen of Air and Darkness against any other lord that may wish to challenge them. So, the waltz, the dance has just ended. What would you all like to do as you are still on the dance floor?
So we're just waiting for the fight to start, right?
Yep, pretty much.
I guess dance more if there are more dances happening. Mingle is an option.
Yeah.
Drink, obviously.
Well, you can certainly do all of that. Let me flip back to the guest list of people who you might be running into for reasons. Oh my goodness, my paper. All right. So is there anything that you would like to specifically do?
I mean, I would
that I can
probably
think
just
of.
keep an eye out for if I spot Prank and Rumor. That's about it. If they're doing anything visible around us, or oh wait, is Hersum here?
Give me a perception check. I'm sure you know what Hersum looks like.
Yeah, we hung out with him for a couple fucking decade, like a decade. Perception is a dirty 20.
You're looking around. You don't really see him anywhere.
Huh.
You see a few satyrs around, a few dryads around as well, but no Hersum specifically.
I'm just gonna like float conspiratorially towards Percy and be like, there's a few satyrs here, Percy, and if you want to walk sideways for a week, I can introduce you to one of them.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm really just so enticed by that offer. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, bud.
I mean, they are voracious lovers.
I'm
Okay, still
sure.
going.
Almost as good as me.
So, is there anything else we should try to keep an eye out for, or anyone else we should try to find in the meantime?
I've just been trying to see if Hersom himself's around, or, well, prank a rumor. I mean, perhaps it's a little selfish of me, but I haven't seen them in so long in person, but I suppose we must all attend to the whims of our masters.
Gotta love that fairy way, or whatever.
I mean, it was that or dying, so.
Fair enough.
As you look for prank and rumor, passing by, floating by, I should say, is a very interesting looking being. Green skin, yellow eyes, no nose, no mouth, very tall, wearing a billowing cloak, and at their side is a sword, and it just floats by. It looks nothing like any of the other beings in this room, or at least most of the other beings in this room. Following behind it, kind of trudging along, is this almost dog-like creature. It has 4 legs, and it has skin similar to a naked mole rat, but almost melded to it are these armor pieces. And it doesn't have a head. It just has a stump where its neck would be, and almost a lamprey mouth, which occasionally flicks out a long 3-foot tongue covered in spikes that kind of whips around for a moment before getting sucked back into its mouth, and it seems to follow behind this thing as it floats off.
What the hell is that? Would I know, like, offhand if that was, like, aberrant passing by?
Interestingly, no, it's not aberrant.
Fair enough. Okay, then I'm not concerned. Okay, so that's whatever that fucking thing
Neat.
is.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of set pieces like that, it seems. Just, neat.
Yeah. That's fun. I guess might as well see what they have to eat. Check out the buffet tables.
There's certainly a lot
everything is made of human parts.
No, there
I'm really
are
hoping
definitely. There is a table of pastries. There's a table of fruits, of which you found the Prince of Frost taking one of those pears from. There is, of course, the table of meat and blood, and then there's the table of rotting flesh, and various other rotting plant material. But it seems those are the sort of 4 big table or 4 big food groups that have been set up around this place.
Pastries it is.
There's certainly all kinds of various delicious pastries, some of which seem to be moving. There are gingerbread men that are chasing each other. There are pies that seem to be moving around, sliding like snails or slugs. But they're clearly just like cakes or pies. And the rest of them seem to not really be moving at all.
Can I mage hand one of the moving gingerbread cookies?
No, do not eat sentient creatures.
Yeah, you just pick up one of the gingerbread cookies and it's just flailing. It doesn't make any sound. It's just flailing.
I'm just gonna mage hand it and bite off its head.
It flails for a second afterwards before just whoosh, it just freezes.
Not bad.
Was that thing? Was that a guest or was that food?
I would assume food.
Well, you obviously did assume because you ate it. So I really hope that wasn't an attendee. I'm going to go ahead and grab some of the stuff that's not wriggling because pastries shouldn't wriggle.
At this point, you actually see Prank floating over. She has a gingerbread cookie, except she's holding it upside down and she's eating its leg as it continues flailing. Oh,
God.
hi.
Oh, hello, sister. How are you?
Good. I was actually sent to tell you that you should be prepared for the bout because it's happening soon. So you'll need to get to the arena.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks for keeping us in the loop, darling.
As she has bitten off both of its legs and its arms are just flailing.
Now, do you have anything up your sleeve for tonight, sister?
Sadly, no.
Ah,
I usually have stuff up my sleeve, but I couldn't bring it, sadly. Only the necessities.
the necessities, you say? Good to know.
Okay. So arena word, or do I have time for more cake?
You could take your cakes with you. Are there waiters around carrying stuff?
No, it seems to be completely buffet.
Ugh. I guess we should go to the arena.
That is what she said.
I wonder who will have to fight.
I mean, I've heard rumblings, but, you know, it depends.
Frank, who have you heard rumblings about?
Well, a lot of lords have brought their entourage and champions with them. I've heard rumors that perhaps the General of Gehenna would be challenging the champion of the Queen of Air and Darkness.
The who's a what's a?
Oh, the General of Gehenna. They are the leader of all of the Yuggoloths.
Fantastic. Do we know what a Yuggoloth is?
I would say relatively. There's one locked in the library.
Oh shit, the guy who sold that dude to Percy's family.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose.
Wait a minute. What? I still haven't gotten it. What are we talking about?
Zarloth.
Yuggoloth.
Yeah, the demon in Percy's library got sold there by his boss, who we may or may not have to fight.
Got it.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah. I'm surprised there aren't more Yuggoloths here, to be honest. There's only that one, and she points to the bizarre looking sword carrying alien like thing that's just floating there on the other side of the room.
What's the thing following it?
Oh, I don't know its name, but it's pretty nasty. It prevents people from teleporting.
Okay.
Oh.
That's all I know about it.
Fortunately for me, I don't teleport much.
Yeah, try not to make a habit out of it.
Yeah, it's really inconvenient.
Okay. Well, thanks for giving us the heads up, I guess.
Where is Lord Hersum, sister?
I think he and Queen Mab and Lord Oberon are having a meeting.
Fantastic. Interesting. Ah. So wait, is the entire castle open for the party, or is it just like the buffet room and the arena?
It seems like not a lot of the areas have been locked off, at least from what you've seen, but people are sticking to the ballroom because it's a dance floor
Mm-hmm.
and it is a waltz, after all, the Waltz of Shadows. So
We could go poke around the garden, I suppose.
What are you planning?
Curiosity is all I have in mind.
well,
I'm not
you
sure we have
do...
time for your curiosity.
No, I don't think you have very much time.
I thought we had 2 hours. Oh, time.
Yeah.
What is 2
Uh-huh.
hours?
Yeah, time moves differently in the blah 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 blah.
Okay, to the arena.
Let's get this over with.
Oh, I can lead the way. I know where it is.
Oh, well, that's good because we don't.
And she kind of flits out, and she's very fast. She just... She's full of energy as she just zips along down several corridors, and she kind of takes you over a bridge to a part of the castle that, interestingly, you didn't see from the sky, but you feel like you should have. But, I mean, most things in the Feywild seem to do that. It's this sort of air bridge to this huge coliseum. Gothic arches and gargoyles everywhere. As you walk across the bridge, you do see some of the gargoyles kind of move and shift as if they are alive. They seem to stretch their hands and shift their wings and reposition themselves as you continue walking across the bridge. All right. I think this is where the fighters can go. There's several of these little chamber things. So yeah, she just wanted me to bring you here.
Oh,
Thank you.
well then, thanks.
All right.
Wish us luck.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you're gonna need it. Just saying.
Excellent.
And then she and just gone.
Super. Okay, well, she inspired me with a shitload of confidence about how this match is gonna go.
So she's taken you to it's not that big, but it seems to be sort of an arch-shaped room. There are no lights itself inside of this room. There are benches and chairs and various weapons as well inside the room, although they all seem to be mundane weaponry. One wall is just a portcullis that you can look out into a brightly lit arena. Or at least the floor is brightly lit. Once again, as it begins to go up into the stands, there is just darkness and stars.
Lovely. So we're to put on a spectacle.
I suppose we should be a little flashy. It
Yeah,
is for the
you've
sake
always
of
been good at that.
entertainment.
Is it?
Is it what?
For the sake of entertainment.
It could be, or perhaps some ancient ritual or rite required a blood sacrifice in the old days, and this is what it is now.
Fair enough.
Do we
I
have
don't know.
any competition down here?
You don't seem to see any. You seem to be the only people in this room, as well as you can't see into the other rooms. They're
Oh,
dark.
there's other rooms. Cool.
They'll
Yeah.
probably
You
bring
kind
us
of
out
see them
when-
as you look out of the portcullis. You see other portcullises where logically there would be other groups of people standing behind, but you can't seem to see into them. It's just darkness behind the portcullis.
To be perfectly
So do they just
frank, I'm just a little surprised that I'm the best candidate to be her champion. I'm not as scary as a Doulahan, am I?
Well, then I don't know. I
Um,
just find it odd that this whole thing. And then she says, well, just anybody can challenge you. If this was just for entertainment, then I don't know. The whole thing's just odd. So what are they like? Blow a horn or something? Or
You do see the shadows begin to shift and move on the back wall, and they form a face. Completely made out of
ew.
shadows, but they form a face, a very familiar face. The face of Queen Mab as the shadows pull themselves from the wall, and you see it's just a giant face as she says, "Well, I see you've arrived on time."
Yeah, indeed.
Well, be sure to prepare yourselves if there's any spells you wish to cast beforehand or things you wish to put together. Now would be the time. The guests are beginning to file in. It will be only a few minutes before we'll begin our match.
Do we get to know who we're fighting, or
Regrettably not. It
of
is
course
whoever
not.
decides to challenge you.
Well, Lark's just going to be like, I suppose prudence should be kept in mind. And he's just going to like float over and lean into Percy and be like, do me a favor. And if this does get popped, keep both of us alive. Okay?
I mean, that's usually the plan.
And he's just going to like bob to the side and kiss you on the cheek as he twin casts Death Ward.
Aw, that's so sweet.
So now, whenever one of us would be reduced to 0 hit points, we drop to 1 instead.
Wonderful.
Death Ward. That's a 4th level spell, and it cost me 4
Yeah.
sorcery points to twin it.
Dang.
It also doesn't take concentration, so
And it lasts for 8 hours, I believe.
it does.
Well, that's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Wait, let me check one thing.
Oh, balls.
I'm going to cast False Life on myself at
Ooh.
5th level.
Ooh, that's fun. So you have you're over 100 hit points now.
Yes.
At this point, the shadow kind of backs back into the wall, and there is nothing there anymore.
I might
And
as
you-
well also.
You do hear footsteps.
It's that scene in. Have you guys seen the anime Overlord?
I've heard of it.
I haven't watched it yet.
There's a whole scene in the first season where he just keeps buffing himself before going into a fight. That's the phase we're at right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna cast.
I
Summon
mean-
Undead.
That's the phase y'all are at. Like, I'm just gonna get my bow out.
Yeah. You do begin to hear footsteps and talking that grows louder and louder as you watch as things begin to fill the rows and chairs and benches above you all in the arena.
I'm gonna do one last thing here. Who should I cast Protection from Evil and Good on?
Don't forget you do have Alex and Rerek with you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, true.
What
They've
buff
just been
can-
quiet in awe.
Let me
just
see if
say.
Alex has anything he wants to cast.
Oh, Rerek also has protection from evil and good.
I was gonna say I knew one of them did.
I feel like I might be a good target for it for a change.
Alex is just gonna mage armor himself.
Oh, good point. Rerek doesn't have mage armor.
No. He's an interesting character.
He is.
He doesn't have shield either.
Oh my.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
squishiest of wizards.
The
Oh,
squishiest of what's his he has
How is he
13
not dead?
He has 13 AC. He also has like +3 con.
13?
He has 13 AC and 72 hit points. He has more hit points than you do.
Yeah.
He does.
I
but
mean, he
still.
has tanked a few things. He tanked a hit from the Jester in the Feywild. That
True.
nearly took him out, but he tanked it. Wizard tank.
I'm
yeah,
gonna-
for real.
Alex is gonna cast Phantom Steed.
Of course.
And he's gonna ride a phantom unicorn into battle.
Ooh.
On its
I didn't know he
back,
had
right?
that spell.
Apparently.
That's
A
funny.
phantom unicorn.
I'll
That's
have
great.
Rerek will cast Protection from Good and Evil on himself, and Lark's gonna cast Summon Undead with a 3rd level slot and just be like,
Ew.
I feel like it might behoove us to have some extra bodies out there, so
Ugh,
Oh, wait.
just don't make it a squelchy one.
we'll go with who did we do last time? Last time we did, I think last time was Dewey, so we'll do Pearl
Yes.
this time, the ghost.
I think it was Dewey.
Yep.
We'll do Pearl, and then I'll use my Pearl of Power to get the spell slot back.
Because you have that, correct.
I have magic items now that I can use.
And not elongate the fight for no reason.
Yeah, right.
So I'll get my 3rd level spell slot back from doing that. And now I have
Ooh.
Pearl and Death Ward and
I'll cast protections from evil and good on Arthur. Because he doesn't have any buffs
Aw.
yet.
You're so sweet.
Everyone's just buffing each other.
I got a cat.
All right, I think that's all.
All right.
Fair enough.
So as you seemingly conveniently, as you just finish this, you hear the Queen of Air and Darkness's voice ripple out over the crowd. Welcome, everyone, to the 2750th semi-annual Waltz of Darkness.
Oh my.
Tonight, I will send forth my champion, and various other champions will fight for your entertainment. First will be my champion. Any lord may challenge them. Come forth, and the portcullis just clank, 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 pulls itself up.
Oh shit.
I'll
go
fly
time.
out.
I guess here we go.
I'm just gonna fly out blowing kisses to the crowd.
The crowd seems to go wild. There are various creatures all yelling all kinds of different things. Some of them seem to be yelling angrily. Others are cheering you on. Others are just seem to be excited to see bloodshed.
Yeah, each kiss, I'm gonna be just casting Minor Illusion, sending out flowers with each kiss, just to be a little extra.
Of course.
Of course you would.
Oh, and I need my backup band too.
Of course.
Mhm.
You see my champion and his entourage. Which lord would like to challenge them? And I need each of you to roll me a d8, and I will roll a d8 as well.
Including Alex and...
Sure. More numbers, the better.
What?
4.
Good.
Lark
8
got a-
into 3.
Lark got a 6, Rerek got a 3.
All right. So it seems various lords all look to each other. Some of them stand up. But then the ground seems to rumble ever so slightly.
Well, that's always a good sign.
Vines begin to grow up, and everyone, there's a gasp as vines grow up the wall, and around various boxes that are at the front, viewing boxes for each of the lords, some of which stand empty. And you hear a voice from seemingly everywhere and nowhere. I shall challenge them. And there's a, from the crowd, a ripple. And the Queen of Air and Darkness kind of looks down for a moment and then nods. Very well. So it seems the green man has challenged my champion. Is there those who wish to contend this? And there's a roar from the crowd, and it seems no one wishes to contend this.
Okay.
As I am pulling out books, lots of them.
That bodes well.
Yes. If I can
Lark,
actually
Lark,
get
who
to
is
the
the green
things.
man? Who is that?
Do I know who that is?
The guy who just made all those vines appear.
You would know who the green man is. The green man is one of the few Fey lords that doesn't seem to have a body and is incredibly old, one of the most ancient. It's even rumored that he existed before the Feywild existed. He is the master of the forest. He is the forest. More specifically, the darkest parts of the forest, where the trees grow so thick that the sunlight cannot penetrate, where every vine seems to have a thorn, where leaves are poisoned, where the beasts are bloodthirsty. He rules over the very heart of every wood and is in the heart of every wood. And so he doesn't have a domain in the Feywild. He has parts of everybody else's domain. Everywhere where there's a forest that's like that, he is there. And unlike beings like Silenus and Sylvanus and beings like that who are protectors of the woods or gods of the woods, he is the wood.
So yeah, Lark will just be like, oh, the green man. The heart of darkness at the center of the forest, primeval. This'll be interesting.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Cool and good.
He predates the Feywild, according to some stories.
Okay, yep, keep talking, please. This is helping a lot.
I wonder what his champion will be like.
As you say this, one moment. Because this was random, I did not get to write down initiative. So real quick. Yep, I got everything. Okay. The ground bursts around the center of the arena, growing up rapidly out of this crack is a huge tree. Its leaves a dark green, the air around it seeming to grow darker as its roots barrel into the soil, almost looping and jumping like sea serpents through the dirt. Its bark splits in one section, making almost a horrifying jack-o'-lantern mouth, that out of it crawls various tiny little twig-like creatures. Some of the vines and roots begin to twist together, forming humanoid figures made of just piles and piles of roots and vines that grow. And growing out of the ground as well is what appears at first to be a stump. But as it rips itself out of the ground, it grows arms and legs, and one of those arms sprouts vines that wrap into a shield that it then holds in front of itself. Well, here is the champions of the Green Man.
Okay.
Is there anyone who wishes to contend this? And there's a roar of no from the crowd. as it seems they want this to go forward. And everything surges forward. And I need everybody to roll initiative.
Oh my. Okay. So there's no horn then.
No. Do.
Okay. 17 for Arthur.
17 for Arthur.
Duh.
Lark got a 15 and Rerek got a 5.
5 for Rerek. What for Lark?
15.
15 for Lark.
Percy got a 20 and Alex got an 18.
Ooh, Percy 20, Alex 18.
Nice.
And then I'm just giving a lot of this stuff the same initiative because there's multiple versions of these things and I don't need to run them all individually. So first up is Percy. You see one tree, one very large tree with about 4 twig-like creatures that you can see running around in its branches. You see 2 humanoid figures made of just piles of vines, and one short, stumpy, almost dwarf-sized wooden thing with a crack instead of a face, 2 eyes glowing out of it as it holds a shield in front of it. So what would you like to do?
So, how far away am I from them?
Let's just make it easy and say 30 feet.
Cool. Is the tree like a living creature, or is it just
Yes,
a tree?
it has a gnashing mouth, and its roots are like pulling it forward.
And it's like the biggest boy?
Yes, it is the biggest boy.
Cool. Well, Percy is gonna grab his no, not first. I'm gonna cast spiritual weapon. Is what I'm gonna do at 4th level, so I get extra damage. And I'm gonna make my scythe appear and do a big swipe at the tree, I guess.
All right, give me that swing.
That's a 24 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Sweet. It's gonna deal just a pitiful amount of damage. I rolled a 1 and a 2, and I add a 4. So that is just gonna be 7 damage.
Oof.
7 force damage. And then for my action, I will grab my holy symbol and use my channel divinity path to the grave on the tree.
Ooh. So the next thing that hits it, it is vulnerable to.
Yes.
Is that the end of your turn?
I guess I'll position myself at the front.
All right. So it seems next up is Alex with Arthur on deck.
Hell yeah. Well, y'all know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fireball.
Of course.
What else is there to do? I don't even think he has any bonus actions, so
no.
Yeah, I'm just gonna upcast fireball at 5th level, centered to hit as many of them as possible.
I would say at this point, because they haven't moved, you could hit just about everything.
Hell yeah. Give me some dexterity saving throws then.
All
I
right.
have to beat just a 13. Why is it that low?
I don't know.
It's quite a low spell save.
Check his
really
intelligence.
Hasn't been leveling up his intelligence.
Yes, he's at +3 for intelligence, so I guess that tracks.
+3 plus his proficiency modifier.
Oh, which is
Which
still
was
+2
4.
right now?
It should
No,
be
we're level 10.
plus 4 plus 3, so that would be a 15. His spell save should be a 15.
Yeah.
Cool.
A little bit harder.
Yeah.
So tree, rolled a 2.
Hell yeah.
And also it's vulnerable now. So
Yeah.
Wait, does it specifically say attack roll or damage?
For my channel divinity?
Yes. Well, I roll the rest of
check.
these.
I think it's just damage.
Oh, well, that thing failed.
Yeah, it just says the next time you or an ally of yours hits the cursed creature with an attack.
Okay.
So that's probably, if it's hit with an attack, I don't think that'll trigger on Fireball.
Wouldn't
'Cause
it?
it's
Oh,
a
because it's
saving
not
throw.
an attack specifically. It's
Yeah.
Does saving throws not count as attacks?
well, it would say attack roll, right? Or weapon attack or a spell attack or something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I feel like it has. I feel like that would work.
It's just like you can't crit a Fireball, you know?
Right.
Right, yeah.
It's still an attack. Mind
Sounds like it-
Sliver is an attack, but it causes a saving throw. Like,
Yeah. D&D theory.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
derail the game and discuss what
bizarre.
constitutes an attack for 15 minutes.
Yeah, that seems bizarre that they would leave it that vague and not specifically say like an attack roll or damage it takes. Because I feel like it would make sense that it's damage it takes. So we're gonna rule it that way. So one of the little twig shits succeeded.
Shit.
There's 4 of them, so I have to make 2 more. That one succeeded. That one succeeded. And now the vine people fail as well. And the stump creature failed. So roll damage, and I'll just double the damage for the tree creature because fuck it.
Alright, so it's 8d6 normally, and I'm casting at a 5th level, so that makes it 10d6. I'm just gonna Google roll that.
Yeah.
$39.
All right.
So 39 times 2 is
39.
78.
Yep, just writing that down. One moment. Yeah, this thing's looking real hurt now.
Tree's still up. Kill the tree.
Yes, the tree is still up. The stump creature is still up. All of the twig shits are gone. Both of the vine things are gone.
Jesus
So,
tits.
yeah, you now only have the tree and the stump creature, both of which do not look like they're having a fun time. But they are both still up, so that means I can close this book. They didn't even get to attack. Cool. Of course, at this point, the crowd goes absolutely ape shit. They are
Obviously.
cheering and screaming and pounding on anything they can. It is, you can feel the vibration of the audience in the actual arena itself. Is that the end of Alex's turn?
Yeah, he's gonna go stand in the back.
All right, so Arthur, you're up. You still have 1 stump creature and 1 giant tree.
Okay, how close are they to each other?
I'm gonna say they're about 20 feet apart.
Okay, all right. Then we are gonna do the classic Hunter's Mark Dragon Wing Bow on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. That is a, oh no, wait, I need to roll that over here. Stop it. Stop what you're
So
doing.
Lark, you're going to be up next. If anything survives.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's a 25 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Okay, hang on. This always gets weird.
Gotta
D8.
check. It does not have any vulnerabilities. Okay.
Okay, D6. 2d6 for sneak attack. That should be fine. And then 7. Okay. So that is 36 total.
36 total. Yeah, this tree isn't having a fun time. As you fire into it, the arrow sailing almost basically directly into its mouth. It thrashes as you see the glow of flames for about 2 seconds inside of its mouth.
Yeah, fuck that thing. That'll be it for me, and then I'll have Jasmine pounce the little stump guy.
Uh-huh.
And that is a... Hang on. 19?
Ooh, yeah. It
Okay.
hits.
And we need a D4. Okay. 13 damage for the claw attack, and then I gotta roll the additional bite. And I need... Actually, I'm sorry. I need a strength saving throw first
Ooh,
before
it's
I roll
good
the
at
bite.
those. 10.
Fuck yeah. I think this is the first time Pounce actually worked. One of the first times.
Oof.
Okay, so that thing is knocked prone, and I'll roll a bite. And that is a 20 to hit.
That hits.
Obviously. Okay. And then that's going to be an additional 15 piercing.
Ooh, yeah, this thing ain't looking too good. It's
And
as
that'll do
Jasmine
us.
tackles it to the ground, you hear this hollow sort of crunching crack sound as one of its arms goes limp for a second before it manages to drag and pull its club back up as it is trying to almost turtle roll underneath Jasmine.
Hot. Fuck that stunt thing. Yeah, she's good. I'm good.
All right, so now we have Lark.
So wait, is the tree still up?
Yes.
And so is the stump.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot the tree first, I guess, with an Eldritch Blast.
Ooh.
Okay. Let me see. What's my spell attack bonus with my new fancy shit?
It's like plus $1 billion at this point.
Plus 11, so 18 for one and 29 for the other.
Oh, both hit.
Ooh, a 9 and a 10. So 19 plus 10 is 29 damage.
Ooh.
Blew it to bits.
Yeah, as you blast, as you hurl forth the sort of bolts of night towards it, you just smash one of its branches off as it roars and shakes its branches before you smash through part of its mouth, taking about half the tree, as it seems like the air lightens around it as it falls over and lays still. The stump thing is still turtle rolling.
Okay, if the stump thing's still up, I will just yawn a little after killing that thing, and I'm gonna quicken a... What do we want to quicken, y'all? It's prone, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
attacks will have disadvantage if you're not within 5 feet.
gross. I guess then we can quicken. Let me see if this will work on it.
Oh, and you still have what's his name too?
Yeah, Pearl's gonna attack. He'll get advantage because he attacks in melee.
Sweet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna quicken Mind Whip.
Ooh.
I'm
assuming it needs to make a saving throw.
It needs to make an intelligence saving throw. How smart is this stuff?
Well, it's not dumb enough to have a negative bonus.
Hell yeah.
16.
That's a smart tree, but unfortunately my spell save is a 19.
Oof.
Ooh.
Thank you, Bloodwell Vial.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a meaty spell save.
Yeah, +2 to it on top of my baseline being a maxed caster.
Yeah, that
So
is
I'll put it this way. Can you roll an 8?
Oh, yeah, that is 14. Yeah, 14 damage.
Yeah. As you send out this mind whip, Surprisingly, there is a mind within this thing, and you hit it,
One.
and then suddenly it just goes dark. The lights, the eyes just go dark as it just goes limp and stops turtle rolling. And it seems like everything on the battlefield is dead. There is a moment.
God's Lark, did you just suck that thing's soul out?
I just a little mind trick, honestly. I can show you sometime.
Yeah, remind me not to piss you off.
At this, you hear the Queen of Air and Darkness, and the fight is over.
Yeah,
And there is a roar from the crowd. And now we will have more champions come forth.
Oh my, okay.
Please leave the stadium, my champion. You have achieved victory.
Oh.
And you see the portcullis of the room you came out of rise up.
To the crowd.
The crowd is cheering like crazy as you all walk off out of the arena into this little room before the portcullis slams shut. And then you hear, the champions of Asmodeus shall face off against the champions of Zugtmoy.
Oh.
And there's a roar.
I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, this should be entertaining.
Is it gonna be the fungus people?
Like, can we watch? Like...
As you enter the room, the shadows once again form into a face. I knew you could do this. Congratulations, you've done me proud.
It was nothing.
Of course, you may stay for the rest of the fights, if you like. You can watch from here, or you can watch from one of our viewing boxes. You've earned it.
You guys want to get a box and watch some people get their heads bashed in?
That could be entertaining. And
Yeah.
we'll have to see.
I mean, they're going to do it anyway, so, like, they're not going to get less dead by us not watching, so.
Blood sport. Yay.
Never seen you so tickled, Lark.
I mean, that was a good stretch, honestly.
Yeah,
Shame about
that.
So much burnt wood.
I'm sure there's a joke in there about wood, but you want to try to find one of these boxes?
We'll take the box, thank you.
Yep.
Wonderful. And the face fades as you see from the door that is just like a barred jail door, the little rabbit, still shaking, kind of taps on the door with his horn. Follow me. I'll take you to the box.
I just feel really bad for him.
Yeah, someone should really put him out of his misery.
Or like free him. Or that.
I mean...
That's what I said. Same thing.
He should be light in his position, honestly.
Yeah, he looks like he's having a
He
real
doesn't
ball.
seem like he wants to be here. We're just having a conversation right behind him as he leads us away.
Right.
Like,
yeah. And
what do you propose? We abduct one of the servants of the Queen of Air and Darkness?
I don't know. Maybe you could ask her or something.
Ask her for one of her slaves.
To go home.
Because we have done what to pay her for that?
I don't know. We won the thing, and that was good.
Yeah.
So
Percy, darling, I have so much bigger fish to fry in terms of things I would ask the queen for than that.
Right, like the world coming to an end. Look, don't get me wrong, I'm not really a huge fan of slavery either. In fact, I'd free him if I could, but we can't.
So he
You
finally
want to get
leads you
some
up
watch some people get their heads smashed in?
to a viewing box, one of the many viewing boxes along the outside of the arena. And he lets you in through a sort of door in the back, and it's a very lovely, close to the arena sort of view. As you sit down, you do see these sort of winged devils and bearded devils all marching forward towards a variety of interesting looking fungus people. And if you all would like, you all can pick a side and roll a d20.
Pick a side?
For
who
either
we're rooting
Asmodeus
for?
or Zugdmoy, and then roll a d20 so
Like,
that
I
we can
gotta
see
pick my
how
girl
good.
Zubtomoy.
I
Also,
think
I'm
I'm gonna
religious,
go
so fuck
Zugtoy
devils.
too.
So
I'm
just a
No,
flat
Alex.
d20?
Yeah, just a flat d20. And no, Alex and Rerek don't need to roll.
Cool.
5.
I'll go for Zugdmoy too, because she already promised aid. I got a
Right.
flat 11.
I
Go
got a
Queen of
7.
Rot.
None of us are doing great.
Whoop.
Well, neither did Asmodeus, as none of you picked him. I rolled for him. It is a bitter fight.
Is it just like the little mold people that we knew? Or
It
is
is
there like
not
some
just
special
them.
stuff?
You see quite a wide variety of different various mushroom people. You see these very large, sort of lumbering mushroom giants that just look like one single giant mushroom. You see, similar to the sort of feminine mushroom creature that you saw in the lagoon at the very beginning that waved to you when you first got into the garden. You see a variety of them. You also see ones that their heads are different shapes and clusters of mushrooms, but it looks like almost they're wearing a mushroom suit with rapiers as they march forward. You, of course, also see the little veg pygmies, as well as they're riding on top of a creature that you didn't see, but it looks like they're similar species as they all charge forward. And yeah, Asmodeus didn't roll as well as you guys did. So at the end, there is only one giant and one of the little feminoid female mushroom-looking things left. Everything else dies, including all of the devils. And there is a roar of applause as you hear, and the Lady Zugdmoy defeats Lord Asmodeus. Next, we will have the General of Gehenna facing off against Carmilla, the Queen of the Vampires. So, same deal. Pick a side and roll a d20.
Gehenna is the Yuggoloth
Yep.
thing, right? And then,
Yeah.
I mean, Percy classically does not care for vampires, so we're gonna go with Gehenna.
I'm gonna roll with the vampires.
I only rolled an 8.
Lark's just like, suck their blood and then their cocks.
Wow.
2 for which side?
I'm voting for
Gehenna.
vampires. I got an 11 for vampires again.
Arthur, you got a 2 for
Gehenna.
Gehenna. All right, so Gehenna, vampires. I'll roll another for vampires. And it seems the vampires win.
Oh, fuck that.
There is a
Fake news.
the strange creature that was following the floating alien creature with the long tongue, as well as, interestingly, flying heads, facing off against a single vampire in a bride's outfit. She draws a sword and rips off her veil that turns into clouds of bats, and she soundly defeats every single one of them. But the strange, large, naked mole rat creature certainly gets in a few good hits, and she limps off out of the arena, dragging her sword behind her as the Queen of Air and Darkness announces, and Carmilla has defeated the General of Gehenna. Next, we shall have the Wind Demon Pazuzu against the Prince of Frost. And you see a whirling living cloud of poisoned, fetid air, along with several winged devils appear, as well as a single archer clothed in white and furs, along with a few flying sort of crystalline looking creatures. And you can pick a side and roll a d20.
This is Pazuzu or Prince of Frost.
Yes.
I'm gonna go Frosty Man.
I'll go Frost too, because it's the home
Yes.
team.
I was gonna do that.
All right.
I got a 3 for Prince of Frost.
I
Got a
literally have
10.
not rolled higher than a 5. Like,
I got a 10 for the Frosty boy.
So it seems that at first it's quite evenly matched. Devils go down left and right as this archer shoots them out of the air, and these ice creatures swarm the swirling cloud of frost, breathing frost into it. But then this thing seems to whirl faster as all of its sort of allies have gone down, and it just grinds up the snowflake creatures and goes out and just whips around this poor elf that gets slammed into the ground multiple times before it just tumbles to the ground completely limp. The Lord Pazuzu has defeated the Prince of Frost. And finally, we have Lord Jubilex facing off against Oberon. And you see satyrs and dryads come pouring out against more elven archers. So pick a side and roll a d20.
Ooh, I got a natural 20 for Jubilex.
let's go Oberon.
Yeah, I gotta go Oberon, even if we are allied with Jubilex.
17.
3.
Yay.
Wow. Well, I rolled for Jubilex. Lark, you were rolling for Jubilex, weren't you?
I was
you
rolling
were
for Oberon.
Who rolled for Jubilex?
Me, I got a
No,
nat
wait.
20.
And you got Arthur.
Oh, I got 17 for Oberon.
I got a 3 for Oberon.
Okay. So yeah, as these various slime creatures slither across the floor, rolling almost, at first it seems like Oberon is going to succeed. The arrows slow down the slime creatures, but eventually they get there, and the pseudopods come out and they slap these elves to the ground and roll over them and just completely cover them in goop and slime. And it's clear the fight is over very quickly once the slime creatures get to the elves. Lord Jubilex has defeated Oberon in our final fight of the bout. Thank you all for joining us. We will have the Dance of the Damned in 2 hours when the Waltz of Shadows will end. And there's more roars of applause as slowly creatures begin to move towards all of the exits.
This is why I was never into organized sports.
I mean, the home team we were the only Fey faction that seemed to have actually won.
Yeah, that's
Oh
kind of
well.
depressing.
It just proves that my queen is above all others.
I think that also maybe says something about the state of the realms, but I'm not quite sure what it is.
I'm just happy Zubtamoy and Jubilex won. Look at them. Look at our guys.
I'm not
Carmilla's
happy.
fighter, though. She had some flair. One vampire in a bridal dress versus an entire swarm of demons, and
It did take panache.
yeah. Like, I have to applaud her for that. That was an elegant fight.
Right. So, shall we return to the festivities?
Let's do it.
Might as well.
So you make your way slowly, following various creatures and monsters and other things back into the ballroom. Is there anything that you would like to do before we skip to the Dance of the Damned?
Me. Drink.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to
Nothing
role
specific.
play it, I guess, but we'll give our congratulations to Zubtamoy and Jubilex and
Of course.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, congratulate the other victors.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to go over well. They are delighted to have had their champions win, especially since it's their first time. And once again, the dark cloud forms over. Please clear the dance floor so that Lord Asmodeus may bring forth the souls of the damned for the final event of the Waltz of Shadows. The clouds vanish, and people begin to move away as the stars above begin to slowly wink out of existence, and the floor grows dark.
Okay.
that doesn't sound good.
Yeah. Hug a wall and watch.
An eerie reddish light glows up from the floor as the floor actually cracks. And from the cracks come skeletons and ghosts and zombies that claw their way out of the floor. And the air fills with, bizarrely, a very pleasant waltz. It's not haunting, it's not bone chilling, it's pleasant, like a waltz that you would hear regular people dance to. In fact, even a waltz that you, Percy, might have danced to in your forced dance lessons when you were younger. It's strangely pleasant. Of course, there's also the screaming and wailing of clearly people in pain and sadness being forced to dance a horrible waltz in the center of the floor as they're whirling around, screaming and moaning for what seems like an eternity before finally they one by one begin to erupt into flames, screaming before everything goes quiet and the lights come back up. And at this point, you see the sky of the dome begin to rise as the dome vanishes, and you hear the sound of horses as riding up over the dome, or where the dome was, is a huge chariot drawn by a dozen black horses flying through the air, leaving stars and trailing shadows as it flies off into the sky, and you hear a cheer erupt from the crowd before forming back over top is the dome.
What in interplanar fuck was that?
I thought it was maybe one of the worst things I've seen.
I mean,
the music was nice though.
Sort of offset by the whole,
Screaming
parading
of
around
tortured
souls thing and having them explode sort of put me off my pee a little bit.
Yeah, that was a bit bitter.
That's what happens to souls that wind up in the nine hells, I suppose.
Evidently.
And yet you think it's such a bad thing when I get them to come to the Feywild, Percy. Oh,
Only. Never mind. We've had this conversation so many times.
I mean, look at the alternative.
Or you could
There's other
end up not there.
alternatives. Right.
I'm not going there when I die.
As far as we know,
Perhaps.
when you die, you're just going to be devoured by some aberrations.
Well, if you don't know
Burn.
that.
I mean, I'm also not saying that you have to die, Percy.
Yeah, you could just make a contract with an Archfey and live forever.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's working out for Samantha if she weren't so pathetically trying to fight us all the time.
Yeah, it's obviously done wonders for her mental health.
Yeah.
So
is that it?
that's it.
I mean,
That was the conclusion of the waltz.
the
The
queen
final
is
event. The queen has
riding
ridden off.
off into the night to sow terror in the minds of sleeping mortals for another year. Or
And I
years to
suggest
come.
that we depart before she comes back with other ideas of how we might be able to be of service.
How do we get back?
Good question. Fuck.
Don't suppose
Uh,
we could catch a ride
got-
back with somebody else.
I got here with a candle once.
Got another one of those?
We could find a fairy ring, or
Not.
maybe we could poke around the castle before we go.
I do not think that is wise.
I mean, it just feels like such a shame that I only saw two of my siblings when I'm fairly certain the third was here recently.
And if she is, and it's at the Queen's discretion to disclose that information, then it is none of your concern. So saith your pact.
Ugh. Fair point.
Yeah, and not that I have any kind of deal with her anymore, but I sure as fuck don't want to piss her off.
I'm not going to piss her
Yeah.
off. I just want to see how Panic's doing.
And you don't think she has eyes everywhere?
Oh, I know she has eyes everywhere.
Precisely.
So,
Oh, can we go kill some people in Clover real quick?
I've
what?
Never
got
mind.
time.
We can do that later, I suppose.
Oh, fine.
I would say at this point, you do see Camazotz passing by before he turns and gives a confused look. Oh, were they not taking you home?
It doesn't appear so, no.
Oh,
Yes, the Hag Coven only agreed to bring us here. They're not our ride home.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, we didn't really arrange for that sort of thing before.
Camazotz, would you be a dear and just drop us off on the material plane on your way back to the Shadowfell?
Oh, yes, I most certainly can.
Oh, how generous.
Why didn't you have any champions in the fight, darling?
Well, you know, I wasn't really given an opportunity to bring one.
Oh, how disappointing.
I think it has something
Camilla
to do with my cheery, upbeat nature.
Well,
Yes.
I like your cheery, upbeat nature very much.
Ooh.
Well, if you follow me, I'll get some of my servants to carry you home, as you'll
Thank
certainly need a way home. Yes, just follow me to the courtyard, and we'll get you off and away.
Of course.
Could you give me just a moment to say goodbye to my siblings real quick?
Sure, of course.
I'm gonna hope that before everything ends, I can track down Prank and Rumor.
You know what? Give me a perception check.
Perception. That's a 9.
Looking around, it seems you don't see them. You can't find them.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, Rumor knows where I am now, so hopefully Prank will too.
Can't you, like, dream about him or something?
Well, Rumor's the one that dream walks, darling. I don't really understand why I'm doing it with panic lately. Though I suppose I can pass through more easily than the other two, since I already work for the Queen and they don't. Not formally, at least.
Right.
Ugh.
Perhaps you could make your way to him through nightmares?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I suppose
Oh,
you shall.
well.
And anyway,
We shouldn't
then
dally too long, I suppose.
no, I suppose we must away.
And so you all gather in one of the courtyards, and Kamzatz unleashes another one of his echolocate screeches, and swooping down and grabbing each of you is a very large bat. And they fly
Love
up
that.
into the night sky, accompanied by other things on broomsticks and flying houses and cauldrons and bathtubs and buckets and other animals flying through the night sky, or their own wings. And once again, off through the strange clouds with rainbow lightning forming strange shapes before descending, and you see the spire of the lab of the house flying over.
First time with my stepdad.
Instagram!
What are you doing with your stepdad, Kyle?
I opened up a gay
Um,
meme on Instagram and it just said first time with my stepdad. I'm sorry.
God.
This is the gay content
Bloopers.
people come here for.
I'm sure.
Bloopers.
And you fly over.
Oh my God.
You fly over the winery, and you fly over the stables, which interestingly, as you look down, you see the undead of the stables. The bats fly low enough that you see the undead of the stables running around in terror as green flames burn across the tops of buildings
Oh no.
and over each of their bodies, and you just pass it as it goes off into the night. You see the lake house and the spire of the chapel poking up out of the water, and you fly across the crossroads and down as the bats drop you gently one by one in front of the carriage house and fly off into the night. And as you look up to the sky, you realize barely any time has passed since you left.
Fucking hell. No, what's all of that going on down there now?
We should go
He
check it
shouts
out.
over the wind, I suppose.
Yeah.
Is
We're
it gonna
back
burn
now.
down, or can we have a rest?
I feel like rest
I'm
is
not-
probably good.
My house is on fire.
Well, the stables.
I mean, just the stables, though.
Yeah, I'm not letting the stables burn down.
Fine. Okay, let's go see what it's about. I mean, I really want to nap.
All right.
We can nap
you
after.
trudge through the darkness, past the eerie silence of the lake house that used to be so bustling with life, but now the mass grave sits silently. As you pass by, you notice the tarp that was over top of Queen Croak's body is she had turned into one of those strange monsters. It seems to have settled about 3 or 4 feet lower, as the body has definitely rotted over time, and it doesn't smell great. It's starting to attract bugs. And
Great.
you walk towards the stables, which are eerily silent. You walk amongst the buildings. There is not a single thing there. There are no bones. There are no ashes. There's nothing. No green fire. It's just empty.
Does it look like the building has been on fire?
Interestingly, no, it does not.
So all of the zombies and all of the horses are gone?
Yes. All the zombies, all the horses, all the ghosts, all of every living thing is gone. It's just the buildings. Deteriorated with time. As if they had just
Well,
sat
so it's
vacant
not
for
on
450
fire.
years.
Not on fire.
So
It
does that
look
mean we can
did
go
it
to bed
look like
now?
it was on fire before?
Yes, it was eerie
Yes.
green fire everywhere.
Okay.
You heard people screaming.
Well, Rerek, use your magic eyes.
You use your magic eye. Look with your special eyes.
So one of you is going to have to tell me what spells he uses or items or whatever.
Yeah,
Detect
don't-
magic.
So Rerek's gonna cast what has he got here? What's Arcane Eye do?
It just creates a sensor you can see through, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Let's try Detect Magic.
This area has a ton of necromancy just all over it.
Like different from the last time we were here.
No, the same.
So where are all the undead that go with said necromancy? That's the question. Hello.
Can I guess I make
don't-
like an investigation check to see if there's any clues or remnants of them around or something?
Sure. Make me an investigation check.
I guess I'll do a primeval awareness while he's like poking around.
You definitely sense the undead in the winery.
Okay.
You sense the aberration beneath the house, as well as the various ones that you've left alive inside the house. And you sense necromantic energy here, but no undead.
Weird.
Neat. I got a
Yeah,
16 for investigation.
As you look around, things are definitely strewn as if people had run. Stools are knocked over, buckets are knocked over, reins are not hung up correctly, piled on the floor. Doors hang open or off their hinges as if they had been pushed off of their hinges. It looks like whoever was here definitely made their escape, but that escape was 450 years ago.
Okay.
Okay. What'd you find over there, Percy?
It's just the remnants of people who left in a hurry.
Okay, well, I can't sense any undead either, so
You don't suppose it had anything to do with Kamazotz's bats, do you?
Can't imagine it would.
I mean, he is a lord of the Shadowfell.
but he seems
I
so nice.
guess. This might have to be a mystery we solve later.
Fair, I mean, it's not actually on fire, so how much do
Yeah,
we care
again,
right
not
now?
on fire. Right.
Okay, well, this is weird. We can go to bed, I guess.
Carriage house?
Carriage house.
So you all
Okay.
make the long trudge back to the carriage house. At this point, it's probably about maybe 4 a.m. You are definitely going to be sleeping in. But
Yeah,
you settle in to bed, and as you go to sleep, you do have nightmares.
of course.
And they are vivid nightmares. However, you still obtain your long rest. And that is where we are going to end the episode this week. So join us next week as they discover more mysteries within the house and, I guess, deal with and process what they have seen within the Waltz of Shadows. So join us next week where we will be doing that. Thank you and goodbye.